This is a app that's eventually going to get banned. It's banned already in Indonesia, in Bangladesh. India banned TikTok. It's banned in Syria for different reasons. It's banned in many different places. And very soon it's going to be banned in America because they are manipulating the way you are receiving content.
Welcome to the CWC podcast. Welcome back, everybody. Thank you for being here. What did you think about the clip, the opening clip there? That was from Valuetainment, Patrick Bet David's channel. Really good channel. I recommend you check it out. I'll leave a link in the description box below. But that's what we're going to be talking about today. What are we talking about? First of all, Happy New Year to everybody. I hope everybody had a great New Year and holiday season with their families, friends, what have you. I know everybody's getting back on the grind here in the new year in 2023. Let's make it a positive year, everybody. We made it through 1 year. Let's make it another one. Here we go. We made it through 2022. We definitely can make it through 2023. So, and we can be much better for it as well. I think we're going to have a much better year than we had last year. With that being said, let's jump into the meat of the content today. What are we talking about today? Today, we are talking about TikTok. Yes, TikTok. So TikTok, what is TikTok? Well, everybody knows what that is. I think at this point, TikTok is the most popular social media application in the world. It's already been banned in several countries. It's here in the United States. It's actually been downloaded over 200 million times. Me personally, I didn't know what TikTok was until, I knew what it was, but I never actually saw any TikTok videos. I remember until about, maybe, 5-6 months ago when I started like researching for the podcast. And I always admit, I'm not a social media person, right? I'm not a social media person at all. Over the last few months, when I decided to start a podcast, I said, well, hey, I've got to kind of learn about social media because I'm going to have to use it to some capacity with my podcast. TikTok, I started figuring out that TikTok was a gold mine for information, for data, content, I should say. Tons and tons of content was out there. So like when I would see links for other channels that I was watching or people's shows that I was listening to, I would always see, they would always reference TikTok. They would have TikTok videos they would play videos from guests and different people. They would put, okay, check out this person, check it out. So I said, okay, TikTok must be the place to go in order to get examples for content that you would like to use. So I said, let me dive deeper into this and find out more about this application and find out, because my sister's been nudging me to install it and start using it for the show. However, I have some reservations, and I'm going to bring those up here on the show today. So first of all, let's jump into some stats here, some metrics. So first of all, TikTok is owned by a Chinese company named ByteDance. That back in I think actually beginning of 2022, there was a group of 80 employees from that ByteDance company that actually got caught accessing non-public customer information through their TikTok database. Why is that a big deal? Well, it's non-public information. It's not supposed to be disclosed. They're not supposed to be looking at it. However, they got caught doing so. They're basically, at the end of the day, China is mining our data. They're learning a lot about us and our behaviors and the things that make us tick and the things that, hence TikTok, right? The things that kind of make us tick, the things that are important to us or that appear to be important based on the content that gets put out there. So based on my rudimentary understanding so far, what I believe is happening is that China found basically a backdoor wormhole or Trojan horse way of highly and heavily influencing our population, especially our younger population, our younger demographic. I really think that when something goes from being kind of just mindless fun. Like I remember my daughter used to be on Musical.ly, which was one of the apps that she used to, and I just remember it just being fun for her because she was a little kid. She just would record little clips of the pet or whatever, or herself singing something in the bathroom or something. And it was mindless entertainment. It was fun. What I see now is based on my limited exposure to it, as I don't use TikTok. I do reference it for the show. I do access some of the content to use as examples on the show, obviously, but I myself don't use it. I don't have it on my phone. I actually access it from a browser when I go to it. They're always telling you to install it, and get the full experience, install it. No, thank you, please. I don't want to install it. But what I have seen, and based on the research that I've done, it appears, I say appears, to be a very, very, very smooth way of them um, manipulating our population. So, in other words, so what China has done, this particular company, if you look at how TikTok functions in China versus how it functions here, it's almost like a different application. As a matter of fact, here in my notes, it talks about how, and I'm going to leave these articles in the description box so you can read them yourselves. I tell everybody, don't take my word for anything, do your own research. But what I noticed or what I came across was that so TikTok in China, basically what they do is, say you're 14 years old or younger. In China, they will feed, if you're a TikTok user, say you're 14 and under, they will feed you things like, museums, how to become an astronaut, patriotism, educational things, how to science project videos, how to create those things. That's the stuff that if you're in China and you go to TikTok, that's the stuff, if you're a kid, is being fed to the top of your search algorithm. That's the stuff that you're seeing all the time. Just video after video after video of productive things, kids doing productive things. Here in the States, it's the total opposite. They filter all that stuff to the bottom, and the stuff that gets bubbled up to the top is the mindless entertainment, kind of idiotic stuff that Americans do. And they decided, let's pump all that stuff up. That's why it was curious to me. Like, I would see the stupid, or what I thought were the stupidest things on TikTok. Like, I would see videos that honestly, I was like, huh? This had 21 million views. Why? Like, it would be something so dumb. But it makes more sense now that I've done my research, because now I understand how the algorithm works, and that if you are, in fact, you saw in the clip, but again, do your own research. If you go on TikTok right now and you make a video where you're criticizing China, you're saying anything about China at all, that video is not going to get seen. It's going to get seen by very few people. If you go out there and criticize woke ideology, that video is not going to get seen quite as much, because what happens is, I've seen that if you are out there and you're pushing despair, you're pushing doom and gloom, you're pushing a narrative that they want, because remember, they're trying to influence the youth. So if you're constantly telling them that don't get married, men are horrible, women are horrible, don't worry about starting a family, go out there. In fact, it bans out in the data. They asked, they did surveys in China and said, hey, they talked to kids at schools. What do you want to be when you grow up? The number one profession was astronaut in China. In the United States, it's social media influencer. To me, that tells you everything that you need to know. The youth here, I believe, are being brainwashed into believing that you have to go out there and promote yourself any way that you possibly can in order to get clicks and views, whatever that may be. I happen to believe that a lot of the people who have gotten followings on TikTok and all these, like, all of a sudden they're like kind of TikTok famous, I don't even think those people believe in what they're selling you, but they realize that it's what is hot. They realize it's what has caught on. They realize it's what the algorithm is pushing to the top. So if you can broadcast yourself that way, even if you're hinging onto a narrative that you don't necessarily agree with, you don't care, because at the end of the day, you want the views, you want the clicks, you want the likes, you want the following, so that you can potentially, you could build and say, hey, follow me on this platform, follow me on that platform. So I think it's kind of a perfect storm scenario where they found a really convenient way of infiltrating society, and you can see all this stuff, guys. I mean, just take a look at what do we consider to be important here in America. I mean, just look, we're very, very materialistic. We're overly materialistic. I mean, I think everybody can agree with that, or most people will. That's not saying everyone is materialistic, but it's saying that our ideology has been pushed that way. I mean, just go look out there on any social media platform. What is the stuff that gets the most attention? It's again, how many times I say shiny object syndrome? if you can flash the money, flash the boat, flash the car, flash this, flash that. It doesn't actually have to be any of your stuff. It doesn't have to add up to anything. I saw something where apparently there were all these rappers that got busted, or these influencers that got busted because I saw they all like to go on, you know, the show, and they'll a video, and they'll have all these bands of money. And then I think one or two of the guys, he actually came out and said that it was fake. I mean, they had $100 bills on either side, and then the rest of it was filled with fake money. So they stack all this stuff, but guess what? It creates attention. It creates view. Fake it till you make it, right? And I don't even necessarily disagree with people doing that. Like if you're doing it as like a joke, a practical joke or something like that. But when you try to pass it off as your lifestyle, and this is what I do, and look, I make all this money doing this and that and this, you're faking it for real. I mean, you're not even on your way to making it, right? But kids see this stuff and they want, oh, man, I want that. How do I get that money? How do I get this? How do I become an influencer? You're an influencer, got all this stuff. How do I do that? Whereas, I mean, think about it. How many kids are here right now? How many kids are walking around? I remember having career day in school. I remember us having to, you know, go to career day. What do we want to be? Police officers, firefighters, astronauts, scientists, like all of those things. Do kids really say that stuff anymore? I don't know. I believe, I mean, maybe they do, maybe they don't, but I am seeing, I can understand the concern. So let's talk about banning it. Are they going to ban it? I think it's got a pretty decent shot. I mean, they're not big on banning stuff here in the States, but just recently, as a matter of fact, in the article, I think this was from November the 2nd. So the U.S. government recently issued a ban on TikTok on any government issued device. So if you work for the government, you have a cell phone or a laptop, you cannot have TikTok on there. You cannot browse to TikTok in your browser. It's going to be flagged. It's going to be blocked. You're going to probably get reprimanded, if not fired, for doing so. So if the government's telling their employees that they don't need to be looking at this stuff, then that kind of tells you all you need to know. The U.S. FCC commissioner also recommended on November 2nd that TikTok should be banned. She recommended that to the powers that be. There was another incident where I believe it was there was an incident. I'll try to find the link for you guys because it was very interesting, where these kids had created a TikTok video where they were showing how to steal cars, and it was a specific type of car. And all of a sudden that video went viral, and then literally like in states all over the nation, like that specific car started getting stolen, like at a super high clip, like bang, bang, bang. Like all of a sudden, like I think it was in Chicago, like they went from having 400 cars stolen the year prior. After that video went viral, they had like 10,000 cars stolen in a month. So the youth are very, very, very easily influenced. And ladies, you're going to get mad at me, but so are you. Women are very, very, in general, very easily influenced by social media. Men, not as much, although men, there are a lot of men. I'm not saying men don't do it too, but women tend to be very, very, very susceptible to manipulation through social media, which I believe is the reason why the dating market is the way that it is. Because what you're looking at is fantasy. What you're looking at is entertainment, and most of it isn't reality at the end of the day. But you're showing this stuff to people, especially younger people. They see this stuff and they're like, well, how come I can't be that? How come I can't do that? You know, how this person did this person did, I want to do this. I want to do it, instead of just being yourself. That's what I think the problem is everyone's trying to chase and be somebody that they're not, based on what strangers are doing, whether it's TikTok, whether it's Instagram, whatever it is. People are losing themselves and they're getting sucked into narratives that they may not even agree with. But if you keep watching this stuff, your brain eventually says, man, this must be right. There's so many people talking about this. This must be right. Man, maybe I need to start thinking this way. Maybe I need to start going this way. Then you end up becoming someone you're not, right? I was telling my sister, one of the problems that I see is that young men, for example, when we talk about the dating market, young men are getting bad advice in the dating market. I agree with that. From a lot of stuff in the manosphere could be considered toxic, because what happens is these young kids, you have to understand your audience and who you're talking to. And if you're telling these guys that, hey, don't treat women like women, treat them like dirt because that's what they respond to. They believe that literally. They do. They believe that literally. So that's why you have this issue with young men specifically being very, very, very disrespectful to women, because they have, and they actually have confirmation bias, because they're like, yeah, you're right. Every girl I try to be nice to, I don't get anywhere. But then my buddies who are being complete a-holes to these girls, they got girls falling all over them. So that must be the way to go. So, and then you look on TikTok and these platforms and you see that, hey, maybe that is the way to go, because you have girls out here clowning guys. They're, these guys, you guys are simps. You're doing this, you're doing that. Oh, why you open the door for me? Why are you doing this? Why are you doing that? It messes with people's brains. And then what happens? They're not themselves. They're not doing what they would normally do. They're not doing the things that they themselves would do naturally in a situation, because they are thinking too much now, because they're like, but that video said this, but this person said, oh man, they said not to do this. Man, they said, wait 30 seconds before sending a reply. Oh my, and now what are you going to, now you're stuck because you don't know what to do. It's too much. So I think when it gets to the point where it's no longer just entertainment to you and it's becoming something that is, to me, if you know what it is, it's fine. It's like if you watch stupid sci-fi movies, right? Like the ridiculous Sharknadoes and stuff like that, and you know that it's just mindless entertainment. This is great. And you get something out of it, that's fine. But when you start believing the hype, if you tell me that movies should get an Oscar, then we have a problem, because you're like, okay, wait a minute, you're confusing mindless entertainment with stuff that might be an actual work of art. So I think that's what's going on. You all tell me. I would like to know. I'm in the learning process along with a lot of people out there, a lot of the audience, and let me know what you think. Do you use TikTok? What do you think about it? Do you allow your child to use it? Would you monitor how your child uses it? I have a teenager, so I have to be cognizant of these things as well. I've got to look at what she's looking at, because you don't want your kid to get sucked, because what happens, you saw it in the clip, these apps, before you know it, will have more influence over your child than you do. And you'll be sitting around, what happened to my child? It's like the kid that goes off to college, gets brainwashed. What happened to my child? So we got to be careful with this stuff. So let me know what you think. Like and subscribe to the channel. Leave a comment. Tell me what you think. I would love to know. This was going to be a shorter video. I just wanted to touch on this topic since it was a hot button topic for the week, or actually for last week. But let me know. That's going to be all today. Short video today, guys. Thank you again for all the support last year. We are growing the channel. We're approaching 130 subscribers. Let's keep it going. We're going to continue with bringing you content. We've got some panels coming up soon. We've got some debate shows coming up soon. And in a few months, we're going to have our first call-in show as well. So it's going to get fun around here. We're just getting started. We can't stop because we don't know how to stop over here at CWC. So thank you for tuning in. We'll talk to you next time.